Welcome to Two Gents, where two seasoned gents take on the hard truths of life, success, and responsibility. In a world where the rules don't bend for us, these gents believe in doing the work, owning the struggle, and inspiring others to take action. So, pull up a chair.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to Two Gents Podcast. This is Byron Glass and Ron Spikes out here today. We've been scouring the internet today, going over some different things. There's so much going on today that I don't know if we have the ability to cover it all, but it's just a bunch of mess out there, and it's piling on. And I appreciate the Democratic Party for at least standing their ground, trying to make a point, because I don't think they ever had a point where they got to an area where they could stand on their own. And before I go any further, before I get into my part of this thing, and before I call out a certain person, I want to say to my co-host, I want to say, hey, Byron, how you doing, man?
What's going on, Mr. Spikes? I think you thinking the same way I am. I was going to basically state that I don't think it's enough time tonight to go through all the issues and things and conversation and topics that we can touch. But nevertheless, rest assured that the topics we do touch, they are relevant and they are real. Black man, you better wake up and smell the coffee. And I have always said, Mr. Spike, that just because a person have the mic, it does not mean they need or deserve to be on the stage with an audience. And I'm referencing that to the individual that you're basically going to talk about in your intro. I see AF Riggins out there. Mr. Spikes, I appreciate that.
You know, one of the things when the AF come back in, Byron, remind me to let him do his thing when he comes back on. But one of the things that I want to say, as Black people, we have so many people pulling against us, and yeah, we are a race that kind of takes on every responsibility of everybody throughout history. But when one of our own goes after another one, I have to say, you know, there's something wrong with that, because I don't like that. And I'll tell you the reason why I don't like that. Because one of our own is she's got 3 strikes against us before she ever starts. Pastor Riggins, I'm getting into something, but if you want to come in and introduce yourself, because I got a little bit of somebody lit a fire on me just not too long ago. So, Pastor, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Two gents in the mic.
Two gents in the mic.
Very glad to see you. Ron, you probably got a photo of me somewhere. I was waiting for you to throw that up there somewhere.
I know you was. I wasn't gonna give you. I wasn't gonna do that. I wasn't gonna do it. I had to ask Byron for permission. I had to ask Byron.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Hey, that's our own Pastor Riggins at his function. I'm gonna tell you, man. D, I see you. That's our own Pastor Riggins at his function. He was sharper than the tack. He had the house laid out. Had people walking around there. People, Pastor Bishop. Oh, I'm sorry, Bishop Riggins. Bishop. That's Bishop A.F. Riggins. He was. I was glad to get the invite, Pastor. And I want to have more, but this is all I want to do. I say I'm gonna relax. See, you calming me down before I get into my fire. So I just want to say, Pastor, you were sharp.
It's still a little community, and I'm glad you came out, Ron, to support, because we believe in trying to support good. See, there's a lot of bad stuff going on out there. There's a list of all kind of people we could bring up that's doing a lot of crazy stuff, but we're trying to do some positive things. That's one positive event we had. I wish Byron Glass was in town. He would really loved it. Because of the kind of positive stuff we're trying to do. There are some people really trying to do some good stuff. Yes, sir. Thank you.
I agree with you. And Pastor, thanks for the invite. I enjoyed your membership. I enjoyed everybody that was there. They're really nice. The food, Byron, was not, it didn't taste like cardboard. It wasn't like one of those invites where you go and the food was bad. I mean, that chef had put a foot in that salmon that I had, and there was some green beans. I could taste a little bit of the seasoning in it, but it was great all the way around. So I just want to say I was thoroughly impressed, Pastor. Thank you for the invite. And we're really getting ready to get into it. I want to play Byron. As soon as I get through with this, go ahead, Pastor. I see you.
I just said yes, sir. That's all.
Oh, okay. Positively D is with us tonight. I want to say, hey D, how are you doing? We got Tyrone out there. He's with us tonight. Good evening, Tyrone. We're gonna really kind of touch some bases. I don't know if Pastor's seen this. Pastor, have you seen the response to what Stephen A. Smith sent out about Jasmine Crockett?
No. And see, Stephen A. Smith got his own political show. Come on Wednesday nights now.
Okay.
On Sirius XM. Come on every Wednesday night for about 2 or 3 hours. And so he got his feet up into the politics. I don't know what side of the fence he's on, what he's doing, but he got his foot into politics, and he's a loudmouth at that. We'll see. I'm gonna see what he had to say.
You know, Pastor, Google it while I'm going through this rant and kind of look at Google Stephen A. Smith and his response to Jasmine Crockett. Jasmine Crockett evidently didn't want to go on this show. That's what it boiled down to. She didn't want to go on this show, so what he did was he started calling off all the names of the people that's been on his show, and he mentioned Roland Martin, he mentioned Obama, and he started calling. You know how you get when you get defensive, when you have to start calling people's names to defend your position because you have access to them, but this one person won't give you access to them. They might be just a little bit better than you, you know. You ain't the only person that out there that can make a complete sentence and get everybody's attention. I mean, she was good at what she was doing. She made her points and she moved on. Most of all, she was elected to a position by her people. And you talking about you made little of the amount of people. That's 736 people within her district. 736,000 people within her district that could have voted her out of there any way that they wanted to. Then they came back and they tried to gerrymander her district. And then you turn around and then you jump on board. And then the first thing you want to do is try to devalue what she's saying because she's talking about a criminal, a 34-count convicted criminal that's in the White House. And you want to defend his position. And you say as much as you have a right to say what you want to say, she had the same right that you did. Maybe you missed the boat because I understood that battle goes two ways. And because she was a woman and black, she got 3 strikes against her and she in the house where you know she doesn't have a voice. The only way that she can get attention is by what she does. And you're going to tear that down. You're going to tear that down. I'm sorry, y'all. I know I get on this rant, but I don't like the way you approach about Jasmine Crockett. I'm a defender. I'm not saying I always liked her. But I have to say, it's at least somebody acting like they got a pair, because somebody out of New Jersey didn't have a pair when it came to that vote that he made, and in the Senate either. So, Glass, I'm gonna give it to you. I know I dropped it in your lap because we got another whole show that we're gonna cover.
Well, Ron, again, I think sometimes people have the mic and they use it the wrong way. You got to remember now, go back into Dick Gregory and what he stated. Just because a person look like you, it don't necessarily mean that they have the same interests to you and for you. Smith is one of those guys, in my opinion, who feels like in order for him to be accepted by the so-called majority, he has to somehow, some way cut off into the values and morals of what goes on. Now, again, he has a right to have his own position. But because if his position is because she's refusing to go on his show, then that's minute, it's miniature, and it's juvenile. I think she's got a right to go on whatever show that she chooses. I think Smith feels like this is the only way that he can remain relevant to other people, which is to cut down on the people that look like him from whence he came. So at the end of the day, you can either tune in to Stephen A. just like you can tune in to this show. If you like it, fine. If you don't, fine. We're not trying to convince a person one way or the other. However, we do talk about Dems, Republicans, and anybody else that we feel is not on the right track. And we try to do one thing: enlighten and inform. So for Stephen A. and his conflict or contradiction, with Jasmine Crockett, let him be who he is. And if we disagree with him, we can show our disagreement. We can voice our disagreement, and we don't have to support him on that aspect. But I think he is doing a disservice to elevating a winning community that's so desperately needed. So if he has an audience, he has the ability to convince some people that might impact and or affect the midterms elections in 2026. What say you, Pastor Riggins?
Yes, sir. Let me tell you what I'm saying. This is the trick that people want to happen. They want to see voices, particularly of the same background, maybe same race. I don't know what his political stance, if he's independent, Republican, or Democrat. They want us to bog down ourselves down into that as a distraction. And he fell for it. You know, he's been on sports for a long time, 30-some years, and he's built a cachet or built enough of attention to himself that he can go into politics and folk want to hear what he got to say. And lo and behold, he fell for the trap of attacking a young African-American woman who's making noise, saying that she's focusing more on Trump than our own district. Well, this is what I'm telling you. If what Trump is doing is hurting your district, you've got to focus on who's hurting your district.
And that's where he's misguided at.
That's where he's misguided at. He thinks that she's out to Trump for personal reasons. Now, she's not like him and you and I, where she's a journalist and she can spend her time going after Trump just to be going after him. No. There's a reason why she's going after Trump, because it's tied to the agenda that she's trying to push for that Trump's against. And Trump's personally against her and anybody that looks like her who's a lawmaker who may hinder his agenda. So you fight fire with fire. And so he's wading to something that's not even his business. You know, it's one thing if he's going after Joy Reid, right? Because he and Joy Reid doing the same thing. It's one thing if he's going after Roland Martin. He and Roland Martin are doing the same thing. But Jasmine Crockett is a lawmaker who's representing a district in a fight, the real fight with Trump, not a verbal or a critique of Trump. She's in a real fight with Trump. And that's what he's missing that.
He's missing a lot of things, Pastor, because he's missing that people voted for Jasmine Crockett to go into office. Ain't nobody voted for Stephen A. Smith to get on the air. He started his craft rolling with smaller shows and then grew it to where it's at. Jasmine Crockett got elected by officials to be in that capacity as a person that's in office. What he did was he made light of her numbers, talking the 736 people in Texas that voted her in the office, saying that he got more numbers on his show than she got numbers in her district.
But see, Ron, that's an illogical comparison, which is what Riggins and I are saying. He's new to this, and he's trying to find his way. There's absolutely, well, I would say this: Jasmine Crockett earned her position.
Say it.
Given his. So again, I don't want to specifically, go after the guy.
No, I'm not doing that either.
No, I'm not saying you. I'm speaking for me. Even though I don't like him, I don't like his platform, and I don't like how he takes away from what he should be given to. Okay, having said all that, I agree with you 100%. If he's got an issue with Jasmine Crockett, here's my question: why do you feel you must get on the television and lambast this individual? I haven't seen you do it to Mike Johnson. I haven't seen you do it to John Thune. I haven't seen him do it to the person occupying the Oval Office. I haven't seen him do it to the Secretary of Defense. I haven't seen him do it to anybody else on the opposition side. Now, he claims, I believe, and we may have to fact check this, that he's an independent. But see, sometimes you can claim that you're an independent because you don't want to identify with the R or the D. I claim that I'm an independent because I don't want to identify with either one of them because I dislike both parties at this point. But I do identify more so with the D's than I do the R's. But Stephen A. has a platform, remember? And Stephen A. has to do whatever it is that he's got to do. He's got to wear the dress whenever they tell him to wear the dress.
Here's another thing.
Go ahead, Pastor.
He's mixing apples with oranges. See, Stephen A. as a sports writer, he's a sports writer down in Philadelphia first, then finally moved to New York at some point. He's used to doing analytics, numbers, data, how many home runs somebody hit, how many yards somebody ran, how many balls somebody caught, how many wins somebody had, so many losses and all that stuff. He's operating from that point of view. So look at 736 people voted. So what? There's 736 people that voted. The majority.
736,000.
Oh, 736,000. Yeah, so 736,000 people that voted for her. That's her district. She can't make the district no larger than what it's supposed to be. He's comparing apples and oranges because he's talking about a national audience that he has. If he's supposed to have more than her on the national audience.
But Riggins, but let me stop you there. Her audience may be a hell of a lot more than his, but we don't have a total on that because she's got people in Louisiana that support her. She's got people in California that support her. She's got people in all these other states. Stephen A. Man, again, anyway.
Well, her constituencies shouldn't be compared to her audience. That's her constituencies. So like Barron said, her audience could be larger than his. 2 or 3 times larger than his.
Exactly.
He's mixing apples and oranges. What he needs to do is not focus on fighting her. So Kasaki is a secret weapon for Trump if he's doing that, which I'm not saying he is. But if you bad about her attacking Trump, why? Let her do her job. You do your job. Tell the sports story the way it's supposed to be. Have your opinions the way you're supposed to have it. Do what you want to do on First Take. Do what you want to do on Stephen A. show, and even on your political show. But let her do her job while you do yours.
Wait a minute, Pastor. Let me tell you what he did. Also, toward the end or middle of this interview, he made a threat that the midterm elections. You just giving the Republicans sound bites that they're gonna use during the midterm elections. That's what he said that Jasmine Crockett is doing. But then the other thing that kind of pissed me off at the end, really got to me, is that he said, I got something in the works that's going to make me even bigger than everybody else right now. And when I get to that position, I'm not going to entertain people like you. I'm going to take my show to Roland Martin. I'm going to take my show. And Roland talked about him the same way that we talking about him. But because Roland has a higher platform and he knows that that's not his audience or somebody that he can reach out to, or D.L. Hughley, like he made mention of, and he called he called Obama. He was dropping names like, hey, I'm first name basis. I got to defend who I am. And since I can talk to these people, you are nobody. No, she's somebody because her people elected her, not because you sit there and you try to ridicule her and make her sound like she didn't know what she was talking about. Because if you go back and fact check everything that she's doing, she can back it up.
But Ron, everything you saying is Riggins. It sounds like a man that's insecure. His feelings were hurt because a woman rejected him. That's all it is. So he's really not relevant. It's like this. I've always believed, Riggins, that you don't have to play football to be a coach. Okay. You don't have to play basketball to be a coach. You can learn the art of the sport. But, this guy, he wants to be the loudest in the room. He wants to be the one that's noticed. He wants to be the one that's out front. All of those 100% signs of insecurity. If you juxtapose him and the president, they both have the same attributes. They want to be seen. And when they're not seen, their feelings hurt. And the only way that they can defend themselves is to come out to you from a negative standpoint. Stephen A. can go back to where he came from. He can do whatever it is he want to do. He's not, and I don't agree with everything Crockett does. But I tell you this, I support her. And the only reason I don't agree is because I don't know why she's doing what she's doing. And I'm quite sure if I knew why she was doing what she was doing, I would be 100% full-fledged. Because what I do believe is this, is that she's got more guts and heart than Stephen A. ever will have. She's not afraid to debate the individual. She's not afraid to call out the person that's up there doing wrong. She's not afraid to go against the person that's hurting her district, like AF notated earlier. So why should she not? Now, I guarantee you this, Riggins, if Mike Johnson or Lindsey Graham or Tucker Carlson and all of them was saying something about President Obama, he'll be silent as a mouse.
Well, now I know that we on this show, and I just and it hurts me because I know how much our black sisters struggle just to get their name out there. I know how much our black sisters have to go through, even though they may be qualified. A lot of times they overqualified. And for another black man that has has a mic, as Byron Glass has said, a big mic. I hate that we have to reach out like that. I hope and I pray that he comes back and changes some of the stuff that he did, because if he's standing on that, I hope that we can do him just like that. What was it, Jimmy Kimmel? We can change that. We see
he's not going to do that because you forestated earlier that he said he got something bigger than this. So he's not going to do nothing to jeopardize his plight to be on quote unquote the top of the mountain. So again, he's useless. He's irrelevant if you ask me.
D.S. Biloxi, he's lobbying for a Stephen Fish job. Then I was reading, Ron, when you told me to go check it out. That he might want to run for president. See me roll my eyes? Just because you can talk to me, you can run for president. See, but what has happened, what's happened though? Donald Trump, the first presidency, lowered the bar. The second presidency is anybody can be president of the United States.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Didn't you, Byron?
Yeah. That's the problem. Anybody can be now.
Anybody.
Convicted felons, sex offenders, all of them. Trump just opened up the door for everybody to come in. It used to be a prestigious job. Go ahead, Riggins. I'm sorry.
You used to have a standard. You know? And somebody need to, if we can ever flip the Congress enough to where somebody could put some more, but it have to be amendments, and then it means 2/3 of the Congress and 3/4 of the states have to prove it. Well, we have some standards for being president of the United States. Because right now, well, really, the way we get people at the ballot box and say, listen, we're not gonna vote another felon back in. But we probably already did that. You know, my count is I believe the thing was stolen. But anyway, he just opened up for anybody to become president. So Stephen A. Smith can sit there just like I can. If I get a big enough platform and get enough people listening to me, hey, I can be president of the United States. Elon Musk will try to do that if he wants to, because he got the Twitter platform.
But see, the difference between, not meaning to cut you off, Riggins, I want to point this out. The difference between Stephen A. and us, two gents in a mic, whether we got 1, 10, 100, 1,000, we're going to do it with no pay. See, if he doesn't get the 100, 1,000 people that he's looking for, his feelings are hurt. Mr. Spikes, Mr. Riggins, I guarantee you, if it's nobody on this podcast listening, what we're going to do?
We're going to do the same thing you're doing.
You're going to do the same. So that's what I'm saying. You have to be able to identify what is it, the eagle versus the crow. Stephen A. is a crow.
You know, he was good at throwing people under the bus. Let me throw him under the bus real quick. And I can back it up with what I'm saying. Because, it was his partner named Shannon Sharp, even though he had all of his difficulties and stuff, he blew up the internet. And then all of a sudden, here you come behind him with a show. But his was based on facts. And yours is based on your opinion or you being hurt because somebody don't show up on your show. You're hurt. And if you're going to take care of something, get somebody that's on the same platform as you are. Why didn't you? I'm going to say it. Why didn't you go after LeBron like you when you was after him and then you found out that you wasn't that big of a guy to handle the pressure that was coming behind LeBron? So then you backed off. You backed off. You stopped going after. She's a person that is elected in office. She has something that you probably will never have. And I'm telling you from my point of view, because we done seen what's happened in the past years. And I guarantee you, everything that you got hid in your closet is coming out. You just got a controversy with this young lady that was sitting on your set with you. She retired. Well, she just walked off the set, basically said she ain't coming back. Now, I don't know what that's about, but I ain't speculating on it. I'm just telling you, sometimes you got to clean your own house. Byron, we're gonna go after Pastor Riggins and you comment on this one more time. We're gonna go ahead and go into what you want to talk about. I'm sorry I got sidetracked.
I'm done with Stephen A. on that.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
I like First Take. I let Stephen A. show for sports, but I'm done with him about it. I'm standing on it.
Yeah, Riggins. But this is a good segue into the actual topic, which the impact of local elections. Because remember, some people can't separate the sports academia versus him now, gearing off into politics. So he may be able to convince enough people to do what he's saying because he wants to come across as independent. He wants to come across as straddling the middle of the road. He wants to come across as somebody who's affluent in what he's talking about. We don't know shit about politics, okay? Because they made the comment that he's capable of running. Man, you're not. You would never be the president of the student council. Okay, he would never be the president of nothing because he's insecure. He's weak. He's got to knock down somebody else to lift himself up. If he had an issue with Crockett not coming on his show, find somebody else.
Let me say something else.
Since you got a large platform, you can find who you want to find.
Let me say something else, Aaron. If you was on his show right now telling him that, guess what he would do?
He would take you off the air.
Well,
he hang up on you, right? He can't take the heat. He hang up on you.
Here's the deal. The issue is,
but if he's a real man, he'll sit there in that kitchen and fight it out with you. But not physically fight, but have that verbal jostling until y'all come to an understanding.
Hey, Mr. Spikes, the issue is not what he'll do; it's what I'll do to destroy him and tear his ego up to where he may not want to get up on the television again. Now, again, I can respectfully debate anybody, but now the very first punch that's thrown below the waist, you put me where I came from. I used to not go to bed until I figured out how to get you, okay, or how to say something. But that's neither here nor there. My point is this: if we invited Crockett or Thune or Akeem Jeffers or whoever on the show, if they said no, that's fine. Because we're not going to survive whether they come on or whether they don't come on. We're just giving them a platform to be able to talk. But my point is, Stephen A. is just a weak individual. I'm not going to say don't listen to him, but I would say be careful what he say and fact check what it is that he's saying, because he's trying to lean you toward one way or the other. What we're doing is trying to tell you what exists, and then you make your own decision. Mr. Spikes is not telling you to vote for this person, that person. What we're talking about tonight is get out to vote. Register to vote. Matter of fact, Riggins, I got my I just happened to check the mail today, and I got my voter registration card, and I looked at it because I was curious, because I wanted to see what it said, and it said that based on the laws or whatever, Louisiana, you have now been transferred to no party. Okay. So I can't be a Dem. I can't be a Republican. I can't be an independent. I have to be no party, which means there's only certain elections that I can vote in. I can vote in general election, but when it's a closed primary, unless I identify with one or the other, I can't vote.
That's right.
What if I don't like either candidate, Mr. Spikes? It's a two-party system.
Just vote for Stephen A. Smith.
Well, I would never vote for him.
And I want to go into this. Pastor, did you have something you want to say? Because
right now, Harris County all of a sudden got a problem with they're behind in processing voter registration. Go figure that. Go figure that. Somebody
what now, Rick? They behind.
Harris County is behind in processing voter registration for the November election. It's
Are you serious?
Time.
So do you think that
it's a target of the state? It's a target of the state already. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
But Riggins, you know what I also heard? That some states, somebody is trying to push a bill. I have to get it right, so it's one or the other. That in order to vote, you have to have either your passport or your birth certificate. Mm-hmm. Riggins, how many people you know that come from your community that's old that don't even have their birth certificate? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Riggins, the only reason I got mine is because I had to go and get my passport. And then after I got my passport, my mama said, "Baby, you need to keep it." So I got my passport, well, not my passport. I got my birth certificate. I got my Social Security card, all in a little safe where I know I can go get it at any point in time. But opposite of that, Riggins, I would have never had this.
Let me tell you something.
Dale Summers, thanks for joining in.
Yeah. I moved to Texas in '92, and I got my driver's license switched over. And it's every 3 years, every 5 years, Ron, that you renew your license.
Okay, no, I think it's 4 years in Louisiana.
I think it's every 5 years, Pastor.
No,
I'm not for sure.
5. No, then it went to 6. Then it went to 6 years. Last time was 6 years. Do you know that in 2023, because it was 2017 the last time I got my driver's license. 2023, I went in to get my driver's license. They sent me and told me to go find my birth certificate. They said I was born in Louisiana. Yeah, 6 years. And by being born in Louisiana, I had to go find my birth certificate. Now, good thing I had it locked up in a file somewhere. So and once I got the birth certificate, now they put a little yellow star on that driver's license.
Yeah. Real ID.
Right. And so your real ID. So really, when they're talking about trying to pass a law about the birth certificate, really right now, if you don't have a real ID, you can't vote.
Exactly.
Because it means you showed your birth certificate to somebody to get the real ID. That's crazy.
Dale Summers say back in the day, he would look at Stephen A. as lunch money. And I'm certain, Dale, that most people looked at him as lunch money because you can tell he's weak. He's looking for a voice. But, nevertheless, let's not let Stephen A. affect what it is that we're trying to do, which is enlighten and inform.
Yeah, because here's the other deal about it, man. I'm just gonna say it and put it out there because we don't bite our tongues. Byron had taught me how not to bite my tongue. I'll say it where normal people can understand it. You cover sports, but one thing about a commentator in sports, that's their opinion. Those guys are on the field, taking those hits, jumping, running, destroying their lives. Their life expectancy is probably about 6 years while you still out there criticizing them on the sideline. And as Dale said, ain't nothing. You might have been somebody's lunch money back then. Just saying, we had people that was on teams and they sit on the end of the bench when somebody needed water. They brought them out to them and they gave it to them. That might have been your role. That might have been how you found out all the information that you got. Being a sports commentator, it's something to what I'm saying. I hear you, Glass. Come on.
No, Ron. See, this is what bothered me. See, we try to give the Democratic Party credit. Now, this lady, Katie Porter, who's running for governor in California, you know what I'm talking about, Riggins. She's now apologizing, saying that she could have handled things different. Now, here's my problem. You don't see Mike Johnson apologizing for what he said. You don't see this fool up and over. Man, why do we keep? Let me leave that alone. See, this is why.
No, because it needs to be said. I'm gonna tell you like you tell me. It needs to be said.
This is why I can't identify. Y'all started playing checkers. These people playing chess. They don't care what you think, how you think, what you say. They're gonna do what they want to do. Here it is. Even if you want to apologize, man, this is exactly why I left the party, Riggins, because they'll steady get punched, and will never fight back. Now, the only credit I give them right now is they hold it steady. If it's healthcare, stand for healthcare. Now, the only problem that I see, Riggins, is the other party is still making it more about the Dems, and the Dems making it more about the Republicans. You're the party in power.
Yes.
You control everything that happens. So it's your fault, but the Dems are not doing a good job of making it known that it's the R's fault. But Katie Porter, you just lost me. You apologizing because you got enough pressure on you. Man, these people don't care about you.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. We might not have a big mic out here, but we're not asking you to believe us. Stephen A. Smith think that he's the gospel. We're not trying to be the gospel. What we're asking you to do is go out and research it for yourself. And if you would go out and, just like I asked Pastor Riggins to do, go out there and listen to the response that Stephen A. Smith gave Jasmine Crockett. go out there and listen for yourself and form your own opinion and go from there. That's all we're asking you to do. But I can tell you, it hurt my heart because I got a sister. And if she's doing something that she's putting herself out on the line, hell, you got the whole president that tried to gerrymander her district to get her out. You don't think she's saying something that's right?
And they still doing it, Ron.
Do you understand what I'm saying? You don't think she's saying something that's right? Because the president of the United States basically focused in on Dallas, Texas, and told you that he was going to try to get her out of office. Everybody that goes up against her.
Representative Al Green, and also Sheila Jackson Lee's seat.
Oh, see, they ain't even put nobody in it. So,
but he ain't saying nothing about that. He's not saying.
He knows politics.
No, he's trying to get the seat annihilated.
He knows the politics. He knows politics now, but he don't get on the Byron. I'm through. We're about 35 minutes into the program. This is two gents and a mic, and we can go. But you know what, Stephen A. Smith? I'm gonna leave you with this. I wish you would do more research on politics around the country, and if you're gonna get a bigger platform, don't threaten to not give somebody a voice that's speaking up like yours. Because when you went after LeBron James and his son, you only had a voice, and that's all this lady has is a voice for her people that voted her into the office. And when
LeBron James called him in person.
When she gets to Congress, she has a bigger voice out there. She's sitting on committees, something that you probably wouldn't do, that you haven't done. She's sitting on committees up there, and she having to stand up and have a voice. And you basically tearing it down. And I'm gonna gravitate back to what Byron Glass said earlier. Mr. Glover said it's gonna always be people like you. Mr. Glover said it loud and clear.
When LeBron James called him in person, he called him on the sidelines of that game that night, and told him what he said, he shut up.
Mr. Riggins, help me out with this. The current occupier in DC says that he doesn't believe he's heaven bound. So for one who may be a Christian, is that not following? Well, explain that to me, man.
I'm gonna sit up.
The Bible says in Revelation 21 that the fear for the unbelieving, the liars, the murderers, the adulterers, name all kind of people that's gonna go in the lake of fire. If he's not believing he's going there, he's not going. If you don't believe he's going there, he knows he's not going.
But for someone
now here's what happened. Trump told us in 2015 that he don't need to repent. He told me, he said, I drink the juice, I eat the cracker. I haven't done nothing wrong, I don't need no forgiveness. Trump knows that his motive is all about him, about greed, hate. He knows. So sometimes he's at that age now in his 80s, he can't even control his own motor mouth. What he said, the Bible says, out of your heart, the abundance of the mouth speaking.
Yes, sir.
What he said is what he believes. He knows that what he's doing is wrong.
But Riggins, for the one who claims to be the Christian, and you are following what the abundance of the heart, the mouth is speaking, what does that say about me? If I know you the devil and follow you, what does that say about me?
That says that, first of all, I'm weak as a believer, if I am.
Okay.
Number two, it says that I may be religious, but I really don't understand who God is all about. There are a lot of religious folk. Remember Jesus said, most people gonna say, everybody say, Lord, Lord, don't mean they know him. He gonna say, you said, Lord, Lord, but I made you, but I don't know you. A lot of people hide behind the word Christianity and don't mean Christianity at all. As I often say, I'm gonna tie this back to Trump. MAGA, Make America Great Again. Goes back to the 1950s. And in the 1950s and early in 1920s, 1930s, you would see a whole group of Ku Klux Klan people with their hoods on horses and them old Model T trucks in front of a churchyard. and behind them would say, Jesus saves. Were they Christians? No.
Hmm.
And may I say, it's pardon my French, as a believer, hell no. They're not Christians. They just had Jesus save behind them.
Mm-hmm.
So if you following Trump and believe everything he's doing, as far as I'm concerned, because the Bible says that try the spirit by the spirit and see whether it be of God or not. If it's not of God, if it's not of the spirit of God, it's wrong. Why are you following it? It's because in your heart, what he believes and what he's doing is what you believe. If he's racist, you want to be racist, but he's the poster boy, he's the leader of it. If he's hateful, you want to be hateful, he's the poster boy leader. If you want to look down on those who lessen them and despise them and take away from the poor and the needy and don't want to reach the least of these, that's what you believe yourself, but he's your leader and doing it for you because you are a coward and can't do it yourself or want to hide behind him. Just like cowards hide behind white sheets.
So if we focus and turn this back to the topic of local elections or elections in general, Riggins, how can, I mean, it appears to me that people who have had a strong belief, so to speak, if your conviction is so strong, it means that it's not strong enough when you allow somebody who is telling you who they are and you're still following them. So I'm beginning to question again. It's about moral compass now. It's about who you are and what you stand for now. It's not about the one person versus the other person. It's about right versus wrong, morals versus no morals, humanity. We all have fallen short. But this guy's telling you that he's never fallen short and he doesn't need to repent. So
but he knows he has because he said he don't believe he's going to heaven.
Exactly. So which brings me to elections. If there's somebody who can say that they are a believer in this person, but they're also a believer in this other Jesus, Riggins, you can't serve both of them. One is right and the other one is wrong, and that's what I'm saying. It's friendship not even an option on the table now, Riggins. Because if you're telling me that you are a believer, we're supposed to be both the same, and I can recognize that I'm getting some BS thrown at me, but you're sitting there saying that this is not BS. This is everything says sliced bread, it's platinum, it's gold. Riggins, come on, man. Local elections have consequences. Okay, look at the Ron. Did you get a chance to bring up that segment that I sent you on the mayoral election down in
I want to play it. I want to play it in its entirety when you get ready.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
let me say one thing add to what Baron is saying. Baron, they're following Trump because Trump represents who they really are.
Mm-hmm. Moral compass.
Right.
It was not only overwhelmingly.
Go ahead, Pastor.
Listen to this.
I'm trying to add it to the street.
But in predominantly black precincts, they were coming back early with her doing well enough to maintain and win.
Correct. She basically received about 30% of the black vote, and in more progressive white areas as well as more conservative areas such as Lakeview, she was pulling about 80%.
If 30% of black voters voted for Helena Moreno, that means that 70% of black voters did not want Helena Moreno to be the mayor of New Orleans. 80% of white voters voted for Helena Moreno. Let me play the clip one more time.
And in more progressive white areas as well as more conservative areas such as Lakeview, she was pulling about 80%. So in other words,
that's the folks by the lake and the folks uptown. So 80% of white voters were in tribal mentality supporting Helena Moreno. Now here's the deal. I don't believe that all of the white voters who voted for Helena Moreno are racist. I don't believe that all of the white voters who voted for Helena Moreno don't believe that black leadership could lead the city of New Orleans. But I do believe that the racists who are voters in New Orleans did vote for Helena Moreno. And I do believe that those who don't want black leadership in New Orleans believe that she was the best choice for them. And so the question to the 30% of black voters who aligned themselves against the 70% of black voters is, why do you feel so comfortable aligned with groups of people who have no problem being aligned against you.
Now, Mr. Spikes,
Elections have consequences.
and
Congratulations
Riggins,
to the new mayor of New
this is
Orleans.
Riggins. This is what really bothers me, and we never pay attention. I caught this long before he even got to it because I'm a steward of it. As soon as he said 30% of the blacks voted for her, the first thing that hit me and said, well, what happened to the other 70%? See, he didn't elaborate on the 70% that did not vote. Because, see, here it is, Ron, mainstream media, distort the message and divide the people. See, he's controlling the narrative until a young black gentleman come back and say, okay, you heard what he said, but I want you to focus on the other part that he did not say, which is where we get caught up in. We don't listen to what they don't say. We listen to what they say. So, Riggins, let's look at it. 80% of the Anglos voted for her, right? 30% of the American Negro voted for her. So that's 7% over here and 20% over here. Do the math. It's no way that the person could have won. Do the math. 7% and 20%. That's a big difference. 80% and 20%. That's a big difference. So, but they're not talking about the percentage of the people in New Orleans that did not vote for this lady. Well, what would have happened if that 7% that voted would have voted for her, plus the other percentage that she got would have voted for another candidate?
Let me say what they're not talking about. They're not talking about how many black people actually voted, how many Anglo-Americans actually voted.
Right. They're just giving a percentage. It could have been 10 out of what? 7. I mean, what is 10% of let me see, 10, 20, 30. 30 would have been 30%. So it could have been 7 out of 100.
You see, what I believe the problem of it is, and this is why local elections matter. If more Anglo-Americans went to the poll than African Americans went to the poll, is why we have a problem. You see what I'm saying? If 5 African Americans go to the poll, and out of the 10 African Americans go to the poll, and 7 of them voted for her, and 3 of them didn't. Or what was it? 20? Who vote? Was it African Americans? What, only 20% of them voted for her?
We still got a little bit of
30%.
30%. So 3 people voted for her, and 7 of them didn't, right? But 20 Anglo-Americans went.
Right. Do the math.
And 80% of them voted for her. That meant that it's still the 8 of them, 16 of them voted. So
Right.
3 is why she won.
Right.
Because African Americans are we going out to vote? That's what Barron's getting at. Barron's getting at the percentages might be right, they're not lying. But the raw numbers are we going out to vote?
Right. And Riggins, catch this. Now, Ron, if we wasn't voting when it was easy to vote, what the hell are we gonna do now when you got to produce all of these documents that most people, well, not most, but many people that I know, they're not gonna have this information, Ron. How do I know it? Because they don't even have some of this information to do things that are around here.
Business.
Police pull them over. They don't have a driver's license. Police pull them over. They don't have an ID. Police pull them over. They can't give you a resident where they stand at. Man, again, Riggins, I don't know what divine intervention must take place. But what I can say is what I've been saying since the election is that in 2026 of November, if something does not change by way of one party switching over to the other, what we now know as freedom in America is going to be hell to pay.
Mm-hmm. And to go back to this certain individual that we've been talking about, the only purpose that you can serve come election time is to split the vote.
Yeah.
Maybe you should do your politics a little bit longer, and before you cast your you said you were smarter than everybody else. You said that the politicians up in New Jersey, New York. I heard you when you said it. I heard you clearly when you said it, that y'all smarter than everybody else. You don't understand the what it takes to be in a position. But here's a position that you should think about. If you cast your hat into the vote, you might split the vote. Are you willing to step out?
Let me say something else.
for the bigger picture.
Now, if I call in the Stephen A. Smith show, he has the button to turn me off, right? But if he invite,
I know.
but if he
Urban Beauty did it to me. I know.
but if he invite me into the studio, like Dale said, I'll eat his lunch right now. I wouldn't eat his lunch when he was growing no school. I'll eat his lunch right now. If we was on a show like this, and the deal was you can't hang me up, Stephen A. Me and you in the same room, or we virtually interviewing each other. Let's get out there. I'll eat his lunch.
But the same thing that Byron is saying.
Sport. Now, talking baseball, you eat my lunch. Talking football, you eat my lunch. Talking basketball, hockey, anything sports, he will eat my lunch. Talking politics, I'll turn him upside down, empty all his pockets out, strip his shirt off of him, put him in his underwear and say, go home. Because he's talking noise.
Byron, let me just say this.
I'm telling you.
What Byron and Pastor Regan would say, he would do that. But what Byron is talking about is that this is politics. Politics don't start at the top because you got a platform. Politics started on the local level. New Orleans just happened to be the subject that Byron's talking about tonight. So please pay close attention to what he's saying.
But Mr. Riggins, here's what I would say. He may hang up the call, but I can guarantee this, he'll regret it. He would have wished that he would have allowed to go on and take the beating that way versus hanging up. But here's the thing, Ron, we need to focus in on this. Riggins made a point. Okay, let's look at it now. 7 out of 10 blacks go to vote. 7 of them vote for, 3 vote against. But 17 out of 20 whites go to vote. 17 out of 20 vote, 3 don't. See, Riggins, explain to them again the difference in what we're saying. If it's doing no good for a segment here, a segment here, why can't we realize that when you band together, it's easier to push the car up the hill versus one pulling and the other one pushing? Come on, Riggins, tell me about it.
Yeah, so see, first of all, when you have the pool of African American voters is smaller than the pool of Anglo American voters already.
Automatically.
So when they got 20% of them out there voting, you need 40% African Americans to overcome that.
Mm-hmm.
You see, 2 to 1. Then if you want to really go out there, you need to make your tent big enough to get Hispanics on your side, Asians on your side, others on your side. If you're not, that's why they're splitting the vote. They're getting part of the Hispanic, getting almost all the Asian. Come on. And they already have 2 to 1 on us already. And then we are talking about we want our freedom, we want this. But then that means you gotta try harder, fight harder, get more people out there and quit fighting among ourselves because we're already outnumbered in raw numbers before you talk about percentages. That's the trick they played with Kamala Harris and the polls. So when it came down to the real raw vote, they went inside the machines and they purged the votes. So on paper, they say 20% of it. But what did that 20% represent? 20% was that was left from the purge. That makes sense? That's what we're fighting against right now. We're fighting against that already the cards are stacked against us. And then they start cheating, it's even worse. That man sitting on that roundabout New Orleans, he told the whole truth on the percentage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not telling the truth on the real.
So I'm gonna play the rest of it, Byron. Then I'm gonna sit back in the cut, and if I want to make a comment, I'll make a comment. But this is something that we really need to pay attention to.
I still believe in black leadership. Now, there were a lot of tactics and things that were used in the process of this election. I'm going to get into those things a little later when I have a little bit more data. But the data that we have right now, and let me play the white man again so you can feel comfortable.
And in more progressive white areas as well as more conservative areas such as Lakeview, she was pulling about 80%. So in other words,
says that 80% of white voters stuck together. And the question for black voters has to become, when are we going to get the same memo that sticking together
Stephen A. Smith
ensures that we move our communities forward? Now, the reality is there's going to be a change in administration. There's going to be change in the look of the administration as well. And you will see how many millions of dollars get shifted from one community to another because another community is now in charge. That is the result of elections.
and see, Ron Riggins, this go off into, okay, is this person that won? I don't know. I'm just using as an example. Were they more qualified, or did they win because of the 80% that stuck together from the conservative side, the other side, or was one of these other ones more qualified, but they did not get it because of other things? Because reason why I bring this up, Ron, because everybody's always talking about, well, you need to get it because of this. You need to get it because of that. Well, DEI, affirmative action, has never benefited the people that it was supposed to benefit. It did, but not to the degree that the hope and wishes were for. Am I right, Rick? You're a historian?
Yes.
Okay, so when you look at all of this, it's kind of like the lady said, you know, we have an identity, okay, but other people have to steal or try to take away from our identity. Man, it's when you really break all this stuff down, if you do 17% of, I think, Rick, is what, 350 million in this country?
Yes, sir.
You'll look at how many people. Okay, and that's roughly around about 59, maybe 60 million people. Okay, that means that 270, 80, 90 million people still exist that don't look nothing like you.
Yes, sir.
So, Riggins, if our numbers are always 7 out of 10, and other numbers are always 17 out of 20 or 70 out of 100, there's absolutely no way mathematically possible that you will have the right and the option to play a role in what's going to affect you on a day-to-day basis, which is your local election, your state election, and your national election. All of them mean the same. All of them have an impact on you. It just so happens, if you got an issue with your street light, your police jury or your city council. If you got an issue with your kid going to school, it's probably your school board member. If you got an issue with something going on in the town, it's probably your mayor. So, Riggins, we got work to do. And what I'm afraid of is that we're so caught up in Real Housewives of Atlanta. We're so caught up in Stephen A. Smith going out there trying to build a platform by degrading people from whence he came. You know, we're so caught up in people like Tim Scott, Byron Daniels, Douglas, or whatever his name is. Man, we are wounded, and it's almost to the point where you're not going to be healed. Because when 2026 roll around, Riggins, if you don't have something to identify that you qualify and eligible to vote, it's over with for you. And then when it's over with, it's going to be too late for you to say, I wished I would have or I should have done. It's too late then.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and take that comment, Glass, before I give it to Pastor Riggins.
Okay, positively right, BG, right. Right, BG, right. That's why I always say pay close attention when one speaks. That's 100% accurate. I know if you want to call in 832, what's the number, Run? 832.
I'm getting it back up, but I want to get these, there it is.
832-856-5964. You're looking at about 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, joined by Pastor A.F. Riggins, Ron Spikes out of Houston, Texas, 2 gents and a mic. We're talking about all types of things tonight. The top of the night basically is talking about local election, black participation in local election, the negative effects. Edwin Edwards was the master of splitting the votes. That's right. He won significantly in the state of Louisiana. Dale, so you're exactly right. Ron Riggins, it's so much that you know, we can talk about. But
what positively says, because the 80% stuck together regardless.
Right.
And that's what happens. The Anglo Americans gonna stick together regardless. African Americans be like crabs in the bucket.
And you know, I want to say this because you know I want to say this to both of y'all. You know, the Democratic Party was carried by blacks for years and years and years because we got out and vote. The other people wasn't getting out as voting as consistent as we were. So we carried the Democratic Party, and I'm saying that because we're gonna have to band together to do something. And then when we band together, we're gonna have to take everybody else in to make a difference, because we're not going anywhere unless we're able to do that. And we can't tear down each other. We have to lift up each other. At some point in time, we got to stop talking about each other and find some common ground where we can unite on. And whatever it takes, I'm just at a loss. And indeed, that's what I was leading into. We're divided.
Hey, let me say something. Baron talking about New Orleans. Ron, who's the judge, county judge, Fort Bend County?
Golly, he's an Indian guy. I can't think of his name.
George, right?
Yeah, George. That's right.
Okay, here's what happened. George was a Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
He was a Democrat. They gerrymandered the district in 2020, and they sued on it. Republicans sued on it, thinking it favored African Americans and Democrats. George was caught stealing money or cooking the books or doing something.
Yeah, he was moving money he was taking money out of the campaign to pay his personal bills, and then he later come back and said that he paid the money back.
Right. They still indicted him. I'm going to
Riggins, I'm excited, man. You know, I'm trying to make sure. Now, let's look at Riggins, Israel and Hamas.
Okay.
Now, hold on. Now you remember, Ron Spikes, that Joe Biden and Benjamin Netanyahu, Bibi, they had already brokered a deal. But you remember Trump and Bibi met at Mar-a-Lago? They took the deal off the table.
Yes.
So this deal that this man is getting credit for, that was joke. But see, man, we are so stupid. The Democrats don't push the narrative that's what the truth is. They always be playing secondary versus primary. Man, the peace agreement that was just broken.
Yeah.
Part of Joe Biden.
But let me tell you how, I'm gonna get back to that too, because all Trump wanted to do was said he wanted to be the one that was over the whole.
He won a Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because he won a Nobel Peace Prize and it still didn't work. But George said, hey, they caught George with his hand in the cookie jar. They indicted him. All of a sudden, George said, you know what? I don't want to be a Democrat anymore. I want to be a Republican. And sit up there this past week, last couple of days, and turn around and said, we need to redo the districts because the district they did in 2020 was racially set up and it was favoring Democrats. In other words, say, I'll do y'all dirty work, Republicans, just don't send me to jail. I'll become a Republican, I'll switch over, and I'll denounce the Democrats and say what they did was wrong. This is what we were dealing with, people. That's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with every man is for himself. Every politician that's not trying to favor the people, it's all about being crooked. He was crooked in his own personal stuff. So to try to get out of that, he becomes a Republican and say, now I'll do y'all dirty work. I say, but he was a Democrat. He was in favor of it when he was a Democrat. But once he got caught to go to, they want to indict him and put him on trial to send him to jail, or I become a Republican, turn around and say, listen, the Democrats were wrong. Even though he was part of that, what was wrong. This is what we're dealing with, people.
See, we got, so what you're saying is, Riggins, we got a multitude of Stephen A. Smiths out there.
Stephen A. Smith don't even count. He's not a politician. He don't count. I keep telling you. He's like me, you, and Ron. All they have to do is put us on the show where he can't hang up the button and he can't stand up with us. He don't count. He just got a voice, a megaphone, but he not doing any political work. He not, nobody voted him in. People voted this guy George in. Okay? The people that voted him in, guess what? They have been betrayed by him because they voted him in as a Democrat. He didn't switch to Republican.
So what you basically saying, Pastor and BG, Stephen A. Smith, you need to go commit some more crimes because you ain't gonna be voted in unless you committed crimes. And it seems like everybody that's committed a crime is running for office and they devalue the position. And that's basically what Glass has been saying all this time. I want to finish this up, Glass, because it ain't but two
Go
or
ahead.
three.
Go ahead.
And now Louisiana, the second blackest state in America, has now lost another mayor that is black in a majority black city. The 5 largest cities in Louisiana, now there's only one city with a black mayor that's going to remain in 2026, and that is Lake Charles, Louisiana. Shreveport, Alexandria, Monroe, Baton Rouge, and now New Orleans have lost black leadership in the second blackest state in America.
Those are
70%
facts.
of black people stuck together, and I want you to remember that. That 70% of black people were in agreement that black leadership is good enough. The question for us becomes, when are we going to get on the same page so that we can all pull in the same direction and that we can defeat those who do not fully have our interest at heart?
Same thing that you've been saying all night, Byron. Same thing that you've been saying all night, Pastor Riggins. Same thing that we getting comments about all night. The same thing that's going on in national media. The same thing. We're pulling ourselves apart. And when we decide to stand up, they still move the table.
And Ron, I think you, Riggins, and I will go on record to say that if there is a candidate that's running for office that's not qualified, that look like us, we're not saying to vote for him or her because they look like us. What we are saying is that don't not vote for them because you don't know anything about them and you feel like somehow that they're not good enough and somebody else is good enough simply because their voice is louder. All we're doing is saying fact check. Check each individual out on your own basis. Don't let somebody like Stephen A. Smith do whatever it is that he needs to do. You know, again, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired. Riggins,
Yes, sir.
it's almost like being faced. Mama, I'm not going through what you went through. It's right around the corner, Ron. You say what you want to say.
Go ahead, Pastor. Take the comment too.
Yeah, man. All I'm saying is that Barron has been saying it for months, and it's here quicker than we think. It's almost 12 months away from us.
Mm-hmm.
November 2026. Even Margaret Taylor Greene knows what Trump is doing is wrong. What old religious choir boy Johnson tried to do, Mike Johnson? Try to talk with her and tell her be quiet. You about to mess us up. She knows what Trump is doing is wrong. Because they're trying to squander health care and all this kind of crazy stuff. They want to keep the House and Senate 2026, and then 2027, all this stuff gonna come out of everything they vote on, that big beautiful bill, which is a big ugly mess, and let it go into effect. If they lose, as soon as they try to go into effect, we immediately have to have enough of votes to overturn it, but enough to overturn it and go past a veto. You understand what I'm saying? To go past, you need 2/3 of Congress that when we put in a new bill, and if Trump try to veto it, we override the veto and reverse the stuff that he did. We got a lot of work to do. But the first thing is we got to win the House and win it convincingly, and win the Senate where we have at least 67 votes. Whether it's 2 or 3 Republicans go with us. If we don't, what we know as America is mess. Let me tell you something else. I want Bad Bunny to be a Bad Bunny. What are you talking about, Pastor? Bad Bunny is from Puerto Rico. He don't give a care about what the United States is doing because he feel like Trump is doing wrong to Hispanic people. The NFL selected him to the Super Bowl. All these conservative people, all these crazy people are mad and don't want to do it. He didn't stand up for God Bless America at a game recently, and Jerry Jones on the Cowboys said, we're going to make sure he don't do the Super Bowl. I want him to be the baddest bunny. All I know about him is Gasolina. The kids used to sing that at school, the Hispanic kids. That's the only song I know about him is Gasolina. I want him to Gasolina and Helena and every kind of Lena, because I'm not caring about it. I mean, just see what happened last year. Kendrick Lamar made a statement at the Super Bowl. Did you read this? Remember we had the whole discussion? Bad Bunny gonna do the same thing from a Hispanic point of view. The way that you fight back against an evil administration is let the culture rise up and fight it back. And when the culture rises up, then that's when the voters are going to come out and vote.
Solidarity, my brother.
Solidarity, yes, sir.
You got to stand up for something. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. Tyrant says, no, D, his plot didn't work. He didn't receive it. He's upset with the recipient. Ron, again.
Nobel Peace Prize. Yeah, he was trying to get Nobel Peace Prize. He still didn't get it.
Well, you know.
Man, he looked on Time Magazine. He looked like a chicken, a rooster is what he looked like. That's what you look like. That's your photo. It's not Photoshop. It's not AI. That's what you look like.
Mr. Spikes, I think Reagan's getting up in his roundup. He about to start preaching on him.
Yeah.
Well, Glass, I attended his ceremony before. Let me just say, I attended him before I went to the ceremony. Then it don't take too much to get that fire started. I'm a witness to that because I heard a lot of people up on that diocese that was set up. They was making their comments, but old Bishop came up with the cleanup up there. He said, "Wait a minute, y'all throwing all this stuff out there, all this knowledge out there. Y'all throwing this stuff. I'm giving you an award, but you ain't coming to my place taking over." So Bishop had stood up and he held his own, Glass. Bishop,
hey, Ron, but see, every now and then, you got to let somebody in the building think they are who they are, but at the end, the people that's there, they always know who the big dog is.
Mm-hmm. And he did a good job of it. I know, Pastor. You don't like to take the credit, but I got to give it to you. I was there. I heard it with my own ears, saw it with my own eyes. I wasn't nothing else I could say.
Well, maybe we need to set up a debate with A.F. Riggins versus Stephen A. Smith.
He won't accept the challenge because his thing is Stephen A. Smith won't accept the challenge because he doesn't resonate with people that have less numbers than him.
Now, Spikes, I can put them words together and I'll send it to him. And, and I'll tell him you got quote unquote 3 rookers that you can come in. And
we don't even have a percentage of the numbers that you got, but we'll tell you something about politics that you haven't covered, that you don't know about, because it don't just happen on the East Coast. It happens all across the United States, down south, up north. I still say this, Byron Glass, and I mean this. It must be something in the water north of the Mason-Dixon line that they're not drinking the same type of water that we are down here.
But tell him, since remember Mike Tyson fought that guy that was a YouTuber?
Yeah.
Tell him, say Stephen Smith, in sports terms, we got a guy, you like the Mike Tyson of radio, of talk. You know how to talk. We got a guy that's like a YouTuber. I am a YouTuber, 2 Gents to Mike. And tell him he just want an opportunity to go. I don't need no money out of it, nothing. Man, I'll wear him out.
It's called charity, ain't it, Pastor?
Yes, sir. I'll wear him out. I want somebody to put me, because I love him in sports. I ain't gonna lie. I watch him all the time.
You know, Pastor, I want you.
Politics. I said, let me see what this boy gonna say. He got in politics. He didn't. I said, no. I need to give him a lesson.
Yeah. And I want you. And here's what I would like to do. And Glass, to make sure this comes out right. See, because he called out some names that talked about him, but he didn't take their position. He didn't try to come after them because their numbers was probably just as good as his. And one of them was Roland Martin. And if you go back and look at the tape of Roland Martin, what he said about Stephen A. Smith's first comments, he got to his point. But he didn't this time he didn't call out Roland Martin because he know Roland gonna get in that, and he gonna back it up with facts. He went for D.L. Hughley, but he gonna call out Jasmine Crockett. Both of them guys on the same level as you. They never held an elected office, but they represent people just like you. Why didn't you go after them? You start calling names, Obama. Why didn't you go after Obama? But this is an elected official that's in office. Anyway, Glass, take that question, and we gonna Go
Hey,
on,
Riggins.
because I got to tie back Pastor Riggins to what's going on tonight.
Well, again, you know, man, I'm more concerned about the rules and regulations that's being put forth. And while we're setting, you know, not us, but in general, arguing and fussing and fighting, I'm afraid that when you decide that you want to go to the poll, it may be too late because all these implementations may already be put into effect. Again, it bothers me to know that a high percentage of people that look like me is always on Facebook complaining about this, that, thus, and so. But that same high percentage, when you ask them to go and vote, it's always voting don't matter. Or when you got somebody that's in the community that's fighting like hell for you, it's always that he or she is an Uncle Tom. It bothers me that we are so caught up into all of the things that are wrong and would never focus on the thing that is right. Whatever got us from where we were at in the 50s and 60s to where we're at now, obviously something is not working or has started to be dismantled. But what I will say once again is this, is that in November of 2026, if we do not go out and vote like we've never voted before in our lives, what we now know as freedom here in America is going to be hell to pay, and it's going to be too late.
You know, Pastor, go ahead and say you're saying, and I want you to add to it the part about the martial law and the part about this country is just being doomed, and
Let me tell you, the setup is this, and I'm glad they're going to the courts, and even some of the judges that Trump appointed is fighting against this, because he's going to these cities, Portland, Chicago, Detroit. He's going to try to get in Philadelphia, Los Angeles, wherever he can, and create chaos so that the cities get up under martial law, and then it's hard for those people, those inner city people, to go out and vote. Or he might even say, listen, because we're under martial law, that we don't have to have a vote in 2026. He's working on something to disrupt the voting process of free and fair elections. It's starting with the martial law. But Chicago is fighting back. He's got into the Chicago mayor. He got into with Karen Bass in Los Angeles and Gavin Newsom. I really do believe that Gavin Newsom against what's his name?
J.D. Vance.
J.D. Vance, Gavin Newsom gonna eat their lunch. But we got to start now by first taking back the Congress and then let him launch that campaign, and we ride that wave until we stop this mess. Because we don't stop it, my friends, we're in trouble, deep trouble.
Hey! I want to ask y'all a serious question, and we don't bite our tongues on this show. In order to win this next election, listen to what I'm saying. In order to win this next election, we can't take no chances. And I'm saying that to say this. It's a bold statement, and I hope that I don't piss nobody off. I don't think that a woman can carry the election against J.D. Vance. I don't think that and I'm gonna say it, and I know I'm gonna step on some toes. I don't think that a black man can carry the election against J.D. Vance. And I'm not saying that was. I'm saying with all this going on, we're gonna have to have a candidate that can stand on their own, a candidate that can that's gonna have to be direct, because they're about to face everything in the kitchen sink thrown at them. And I hope that I didn't disappoint nobody.
No.
Glass, y'all can clean it up.
You told the truth. Let me tell you what you say. You told the truth.
Go ahead.
This is what I have a problem with. Why Biden lied. What's going on? If in 2022, if Biden would say, I'm not running, we'd have put a process in place that would have flushed out the best candidate. So now in 2026, once that election's over with, Newsom and whoever else, the guy out of Pennsylvania, anybody want to, even if Harris want to throw a hat in, everybody, put your hat in the ring, flush it out. And when you flush it out, the best candidate gonna come and run against J.D. Vance. That's what I'm trying to say. You are right. And that's why Gavin Newsom right now, let's even say something anecdotal. He tortures and makes Trump mad every day. He's beating him at that game and all that old stuff that he do on X and then Truth Social and all that. He picks on him. He calls him all kind of names. He makes funny pictures about him. He's found out the culture of our elections these days is not only be right in the politics, but know how to appeal to the people on TikTok and all these young folk of making somebody look like a fool. He makes Trump look like a fool every day.
Hey, Riggins, Mr. Spikes, I ain't never had a problem standing alone by myself, and I've done it for many times.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have to disagree with y'all on this.
Okay.
As a result of Barack Hussein Obama being elected, I think anything is possible. So I'm not going to slight a black person, male or female, from running. I will question the timing, but I think that's why we don't have what we have, because we always feel like, not relative to what you guys are saying, just in general, that we don't have a chance. Well, I was always taught you don't have a chance if you don't get in the race. But when you get in the race, your chances increase. You have just as good a chance as anybody else. So I'm gonna have to differ from that position.
Now, my position is not totally wrong position. What I'm saying is flush out the best candidate.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
black woman, then but it'll be flushed out over 18 months.
Ron, the reason why I came back and clarified that, because I don't want nobody to think that you guys are saying that we don't have the opportunity to run for office and win, because I know how words can be twisted and I know how people can think. They'll be saying, well, those guys sitting there saying this, that, and other, but yet still they saying that, no. So I want to clarify. You guys are right in what you're saying, but I'm looking at it from its entirety. You're not saying that a black, so that's what I'm trying to clarify. So
let me just re-say this so we can get this right. Whoever is going to run for president in the next election is going to have to stand up. Whoever's going to run for president in the next election is going to have to be able to stand behind some of these candidates that's running in 2026 and endorse some of them and help them win the midterms. Because in the midterms, if we can turn the House and the Senate, Pastor, I think it's a thing called, what is it called when you get rid of the president, Pastor?
Impeachment.
If you got the House and the Senate, you can mitigate some of this stuff.
But you got to have 7 votes in the Senate.
And we got one. We got Marjorie Taylor Greene. That's already
in the Senate, not in the House.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's why y'all there.
Here's one of the problems that we've been addressing with the Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you look up in Senator Susan Collins' district, she's gotten several opponents. Well, today Tim Walz came out and supported the quote-unquote the mainstream guy. So some of these other people were saying, no, we don't want this mainstream person. We want, so the party has a problem with going outside of the norm. You see, Republicans, they went outside of the norm and they got Donald J. Republicans went outside of the norm and they got Tim Scott. Republicans went outside of the norm and they got Pete Hegseth, J.D. Vance, Pam Bundy. See, checkers versus chess, man.
Yeah, Democrats. And let me say this: if us 3 guys want to go up against 3 other guys in the battle royal, let's take it to wrestling. It's fake anyway. Let's take it there. We can't be fighting among ourselves and think we're gonna beat the other 3. The Democrats often find themselves fighting among themselves about who they want to represent them or who they best can be the best person. And Republicans jump on with the free birds.
Yeah.
Kamala or somebody that's crazy and ride with them, with the 4 horsemen and ride with them, no matter what. We up there trying to say, well, I don't know if we want JYD, or we want to have Flex or Lex or Sting or who. We don't know who. You know, they'll jump in there and ride with the wrong person the whole time while we're trying to figure out who we're going to put out there.
And Ron, we still don't have a viable candidate out there now to run for president. Still don't.
Stephen A. Smith said he's coming.
Not for no Democrat.
No other, not even for student council.
I'll run against him.
Hey, Ricky, you got 2 votes right here, right now.
I'll run against him.
And I might be able to convince somebody else to vote for you, Pastor.
Hey,
that
Ricky,
might be more than he gets.
I think between real people, real life, real answers, and all these other things that we've done, I think you've garnered at least enough people to put you in the race.
Yep.
So all I need is a platform. If I get on the platform, it's over with.
So Byron Glass, you got a challenge to word it up and challenge Stephen A. Smith, and we're gonna sit in the background with Pastor Riggins and let him eat it.
My name ain't what it is if I don't stay up tonight putting something together, and I'm gonna find a way to get it to him, and I'm
both like dressing up. You know how I be dressing up and stuff. I be watching them. So hey, I'm gonna do my best. He coming in bed, thread to thread, head to head.
Hey, Stephen A. He only feels that way when he dressed up. See, there's a difference between whether you're dressed up or not. You still feel confident in who you are.
Oh man,
you still can walk in a room and never budge and never be afraid. So you know all that stuff don't matter.
I know, but I'm just saying. I'm saying, but he got his styles and everything. Even the frivolous stuff, I got him all of it. You can't even outdress me. If you want.
We on your team.
I got all of it.
We got you.
We on your team, man.
Makeup. I don't need no makeup.
Hey, Rick, as long as you pull up in that, last I said it was a Jaguar, but I think it's a Cadillac. Now I don't want to tell you what the drive was over about stalking, but as long as you pull up in that, you're gonna be good and okay. And then you got cheerleaders right here that's gonna always be cheering you on.
I pull up in that truck and with the horses in the back and weigh them out.
Hey, bring your horses. I don't care, because he definitely don't have no clue what he's talking about.
And the anti-cowboy fan, I'm a cowboy fan. It's a batch babe. It's a batch babe for the blanket. He hate the Cowboys and all that stuff. It's a batch babe, baby.
Hey, Byron, cover that comment by Tyrone, and then we gonna.
Okay, no D. His plot didn't work. He didn't receive it. He's upset with the recipient.
Yeah.
Okay, Tyrone, thank you.
Yeah, because he talking about the Trump thing and the Nobel Peace Prize. He gonna try to get in 2026. He was lying all around. He tried, man, I stopped 7 wars and all kind of crazy stuff. It's just lying.
But see, here's the deal though, Riggins. Barack didn't have to say nothing, and he got it.
Yeah.
You know, Jimmy Carter didn't have to say nothing.
Because they did something.
And he got it.
Action.
Martin Luther King didn't have to say nothing.
Action.
And he got it. So all you got to do is look at the character of the person. Again, like the guy said, they don't bow down to political pressure. They choose who they want to choose. And I'm almost certain that there's many more people that's out there doing a hell of a lot better job than this divider that we got now. Yeah. So at the end of the day, when the smoke clear and the dust settle, he can win 50 Nobel Peace Prizes. If I'm the last person on this planet, he will never get my face.
David Moss.
Hey, we got a call coming in. Y'all want to take it or what?
Yes, sir. Take the call.
David Moss. Let me see if I got him.
What's it?
Can y'all hear?
Yes, sir.
Y'all can hear David? David, you on the air, man?
No, I'll call in real quick.
You in? You on?
Oh, hey everybody.
Hey.
Like I can set the computer up and get on real quick.
No,
you already on.
You already on, man.
Pastor Regan's worked the full schedule. But anyway, go ahead and say what you're gonna say. But this is David, Byron, and we wanted to get you back on. But it's kind of toward the end of the show. So go ahead and say what you're going to say.
On, David.
We're waiting on you.
Oh, no, yeah. So my biggest thing is just, watching some of the technology changes that they put out there So one of the big one was if you do Chat GTP,
Yeah.
they was like they got to keep all your questions and your answers, because if somebody wants to say somebody stole my idea, or the company that owns Chat GTP, they stole your idea, you got to be able to prove that in federal court. But now they're gonna keep all that, and then there is no how you know they're protecting your information.
Right.
So it's like the federal judge says, "Oh, you got to keep it," but that person doesn't understand what they just said. So now everything you submit to AI, they have to keep for so long, potentially, just in case you get sued. And then now they're gonna charge you extra for that. They may not protect that data, and so it's a vicious cycle. So I think that for people that's in legislation, like before they make those decisions, like they need to partner up with the private agencies to understand what that means.
Right. I agree with you, David.
And one of the big things is like they was trying to break up Google for search. And it was like, well, Google has monopoly on search. And I'm like, how is that a monopoly on somebody being really good at doing something?
Right.
Well, all those years, Windows wouldn't let you do anything on a desktop if you wasn't part of Microsoft. And so it was like, oh, they're going to break up. Then they're going to complain that the search doesn't work good enough once they force them to do different things that Google's like, well, that doesn't make sense for us to do. And now the tool that you use is not going to be good anymore. So it's just amazing to me that other companies can push the federal government to make change that doesn't really help consumers. And then they put a nice little spin on it. Like, and then you're like, oh yeah, that's gonna work well, and it doesn't. It never works well.
Absolutely, David. We're glad you came in, Pastor. This was the person that I wish you would have called in earlier, so you could have got your conspiracy theory out there on the election.
Okay, so I am gonna be on next week for sure if Ron and everybody have me. I was driving to Sacramento, and that's why I missed you guys. So
looking forward to it.
We'll be on next week. And we can
trust me with everything that's going on in the world today. I want you to give me your opinion. What did you see what Stephen A. Smith said real quick? Because we got to get out of here.
I didn't see that, but I did want to make one comment that I thought was really funny that I don't think people paid attention to. So, as I'm driving through, I'm getting my hotel and I'm laughing at the TV because I see the president on there talking about how he helped save 20 people and did a ceasefire and all this, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm laughing at the TV, and the construction workers are like, "Why are you laughing?" I'm like, "Yeah, because the president is over there talking about he's helping free people from another country that we don't care about, but the federal government is shut down. And everybody's playing this on every channel." Like, how funny is that?
Straight
David,
you can't
came in.
the federal government is being shut down. What are you gonna say? 20 people we don't care about.
Direction, David. We're gonna get you next week, and I'm gonna make sure I get you up. Okay.
So I ain't looking at it that way. I'm like, yeah, it's the okie doke. Don't want you to look at this, so I'm gonna put this on all the different TV channels.
Yeah, and we're gonna jump on that next week.
Take care, man. We enjoy you.
Screen. It's like a magic show.
It is. It's a magic show. And take care, David. I don't mean to cut you short, but we trying to. Somebody gave you a thumbs up out there already on what you just got through saying.
But Ron, think about it though. That's what I said.
All right, I will be next week.
Okay,
thank you guys for having me.
All right.
That's what I said earlier.
All right,
See, we're focusing on what's being said, and we've always been taught don't focus on what's said. Focus on what's not. So I don't understand where we lost in the teachings to where we don't even know how to participate in the game. It's like checkers versus chess. Like David just said, you're talking about all these 12 people that you saved, but hell, you got millions of people here tomorrow that may not get a check that's going to serve this particular country. Education department shut down. Kids that's got disabilities. Come on, man. Yolanda Lockett is out there say, hey, Ron. But at the end of the day, my point is stop listening to what's being said and start listening and paying attention to what's not being said.
David, Byron Glass and Pastor Riggins, that's Detroit. That's Detroit coming in the house. Yolanda Lockett. She used to come on all the time. She's working with one of those city council members in Detroit, and I know I'm putting your business out there. We just need to qualify some of the people that's coming on.
832.
There you go.
Yep.
Not to mention Epstein files. Not really. Exactly. For weeks they were talking about that. All of a sudden, the guy's good at getting you to divert. But see, smart people like Riggins, smart people that know what's going on, you ain't got the voice to do what these people got. So we have to use this platform.
About the Epstein stuff. He ain't gonna want to touch that because he don't want nobody start dealing with the people.
But Riggins, check this out. Check this out. They have not even sworn the newly elected representative in. But here's the deal: a federal judge can swear in.
Congressional district don't have nobody sitting in it either.
Yeah, a federal judge can swear in. So why are we waiting on Mike Johnson? That's a protocol. So is Hakeem Jeffries not addressing the issue? I don't know. I'm asking. So I'm not beating up on it. But what's the deal, Ron? If a federal judge can swear in, what are we waiting on?
No. We got to now. We got to go back to Stephen A. Smith and see where he stands on this, because he all of a sudden he has all the answers. He can split the scene and show up. But I done heard Roland Martin say, if you don't know nothing about politics, what the hell are you doing over here?
Mr. Spikes, I see AF over there falling asleep. So
find me a way to debate him. I'm gonna open up the Red Sea on him.
Hey, Mr. Spikes, Ron.
I'm turning water to wine on him.
I see AF Riggins over there kind of dozing off a little bit, man.
Yeah, because we do this. Let me just clarify, because see, y'all don't know this, but I'm gonna clarify and I'm gonna give it to Pastor Riggins to close us out. We do this for ourselves. We come on every Tuesday. We spend an hour. We went over an hour and a half this time. We have people calling in, voicing their opinions. We do this to give you a voice here. But I'm gonna tell you something. This is hard. This is hard because you have to be consistent at this while you still maintaining your regular life. And being a pastor of a church, being who Byron represents in Louisiana, that takes away from him. I'm retired.
And I'm an educator. I get up
educator. So I'm still saying that takes away from what they're doing, and they volunteer their time. You don't have to agree with them, but go out there and do your own research. And Pastor, I'm gonna give this to you, because if me and Byron get into another discussion, this thing gonna go on, and Byron gonna give me the deuces. So Pastor, give us
one thing, Ron. Get ready sometime tonight, maybe Riggins 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning when I'm troubleshooting. We're gonna have something prepared for Mr. Smith.
I will see if he can get me on there. I sure be ready for him.
They have in certain places you have to second that motion. I second that motion, Byron. You're supposed to say Pastor motion carried or something like that.
Riggins, you know what my belief is. You chop at a tree long enough, eventually it's gonna fall, and I ain't gonna never give up.
Yes, sir. All right. We look forward to it, man.
It's coming.
Hey guys, for everyone watching live or archive or on this YouTube podcast, 2 gents and a mic, we're so glad to be coming to your home every day. Sean says, Pastor, I want to see that debate. Sean says, I want to see that debate. Yeah, hey, I'm ready. Yeah. So, and we're putting a challenge out there to Stephen A. Smith. Hey, we're like the YouTuber that nobody knows, and he's like the Mike Tyson of talk and all this kind of stuff. Let's go in the ring. Let's go in the ring. I'm not afraid. And I tell you what, we're gonna, and it's all because really the real thing is, if we can help impact our community, our city, and our world for the greater cause, this is what we're trying to do. I'm not doing it for a name. I'm not doing it because I want to say I was able to go head to head with Stephen A. Smith. If we come out of it and it stirs up the community, stirs up people wanting to go out and do something, it's all that really matters. Remember, God created us all with a purpose.
Hey, Riggins, I already got my topic. David versus Goliath. Let's see who voice matters the most.
Yes, sir. All right.
I'm on it. Hey, Spikes is already working, homie.
Yes, sir. Right.
Come on, Pastor. Take it. Come on, David. Take us into
God created us all with a purpose, and the purpose that He has in our lives, we got to look for it and find it. Every morning you wake up, His faithfulness is great to you that you allow us to sit another day. Don't waste that day not trying to find your purpose or fulfill your purpose. We want to leave this platform, but not his presence. And so, Father, we thank the opportunity to share with these people tonight and to be able to engage and interact and inspire one another to be able to do greater things for our community, our city, and our world. We leave this platform, but not your presence. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank God, thank God, thank God. Where my deuces at? That's it. We out. We'll catch y'all next week.
Peace.
Yes, sir.
Peace.